Welcome back to Story Break. I'm Mike Champagne, and the stories on this web channel are new and recorded just for you, to give you a chance to relax for a few minutes and escape the pressures of the world. If you're new to Story Break, every 3 weeks I release a new story for your enjoyment. If you enjoy these stories, I hope you'll share this channel with your friends and that you'll press like and subscribe so that you'll know when the next story is ready. Today's story is St. Ralph. We all experience the frustrations of answering to authority, especially when it involves going against our own personal directions. In this story, Ralph Gilly finds himself at odds with the ultimate authority, the Almighty. How does he fare in his negotiations with the divine? And now, St. Ralph. Mr. Gilly, I'm sure all this is some strange misunderstanding. You know how the papers are, the media. Father Callahan, this has been going on for 6 weeks. The 6 o'clock news led with a story tonight. Miraculous healings by St. Ralph of Walnut Street. Local accountants pipeline to God. People have been ringing my bell in the dead of night. They're carrying their sick kids and expecting me to heal them. They're holding vigils outside my home. Vigils, prayers, singing. We have a very tight block association, Father. My neighbors are not amused. Well, it must have been a slow news day, and this little episode will be forgotten. I'm sure it'll all blow over. Blow over? It's easy for you to say, isn't it? I have no life of my own. St. Ralph of Walnut Street? I'm a marked man. Well, I'm sure it's not as extreme as that. I'm not even a good Catholic. I can't take any more of this. Well, now, let's just be logical about all this, shall we? What do you think you might have done to excite all this attention? Not a damn thing. I'm sorry, Father. I was shopping in Kmart, okay? This poor little girl was slumped in her wheelchair, and her teddy bear had dropped from the tray thingy attached to the chair. I was standing right there, so I bent down, I picked it up, and I patted her on the head. Suddenly, she lifted her head and said, "Thank you." Her parents let out a yell in some foreign tongue and got down on their knees right there in the home goods aisle and grabbed my coat, and they were going on about some miracle. I didn't know what the heck was going on. And then the little girl got up out of her wheelchair, took my hand and kissed it. I'm telling you, it was creepy. Yeah, ever since Kmart, if I happen to be or touch anybody with the slightest boo-boo, they're healed. It's very interesting. The priest pressed his fingertips together, contemplating. Well, what do you want me to do, Mr. Gilly? Take it away! Get it off me! Exorcise me or cleanse me or whatever you have to do, but make it stop. Well, Mr. Gilly, I don't think there's anything I need do. I mean, this is probably just a fluke. Fluke my ass! I'm sorry, Father, but ever since that kid, I've been plagued by healings everywhere I go. It's embarrassing. I tried to take my wife to dinner the other night, and I cured our waiter of his chronic psoriasis before we even placed our order. Oh, how did that happen? Father Callahan leaned forward. He wasn't even a good waiter. He took my wife's order and ignored me, so I tapped him on the shoulder to tell him I wanted the pork chops, and that was it. He stiffened for a second and tore open his sleeve to look and fell on his knees, shouting, "Hallelujah!" Very interesting. What happened next? We left. I stopped at McDonald's on the way home, and we ate in the car. Well, Mr. Gilly, 2 events, not 2, dozens, multiple miracles, Father. Every time I touch someone who is sick, bingo, the lame walk, the blind see, and I have to wear a disguise just to go to the mailbox. My wife took the kids to her mother's to get away from all this religious fervor. I can't even go to work. So many people followed me to the office last week that the boss told me to take a few days off until the crowd goes away. You know what that means, Father? That's code for lose the rubes or you're fired. I can't afford to lose my job, not in this economy. Mr. Gilly, if this is a legitimate case of divine grace, well, you're a blessed man. Very few people receive such a blessing from God. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You mean like the saints? Well, some of them performed miraculous things through the grace of God. Didn't most of them wind up as martyrs? Isn't that what usually happens? Well, not all. No, thank you. I'm not the martyr type. God can have his grace right back. I don't want it. I didn't ask for it. Well, God moves. You're not going to say God moves in mysterious ways, are you? The priest pulled back. I was going there, yes. Nope. This is some colossal mistake. This is some doozy of a divine cock-up. I barely go to church. Christmas, maybe Easter. That's it. Why would God suddenly visit me with his grace? What have I done to earn his special consideration? Well, maybe God loves you, Mr. Gilly. Oh, please. This is not love. This is some kind of power play. Mr. Gilly, do you really think that you're that important that God would have singled you out? No, I don't. You tell me. You're the priest here. I'm a desperate man. Look, I'm a simple, average guy. I'm not brilliant or talented or religious. I have no distinguishing characteristics. The only way that I'm exceptional is in my absolute mediocrity. Why me? Well, maybe God has plans for you. I have plans for me. You don't just visit healing on somebody without clearing it with them first. Well, what kind of a thing is that? Where are God's manners? Well, he is God, Mr. Gilly. He does make the rules. It's rude. High-handed and rude. If he wanted me to be a saint, why didn't he talk to me first? He talked to Joan of Arc a lot. He talked to Noah before he sent all the livestock. But this, I don't like touching people. Well, I'm afraid that you have this cross to bear, Mr. Gilly. God has given you his gift. It's yours. Ralph Gilly thought for a moment. Let me ask you something. Do I or do I not have free will? Oh, well, yes, of course, Mr. Gilly. Gilly narrowed his eyes. It can't be taken away from me, can it? No, Mr. Gilly. It's the prime divine gift, fundamental to all humanity. Uh-huh. Then I will not accept this. I won't heal anyone. I won't see anyone or go anywhere. So if God is expecting me to use this gift, I will not do it. I can work from home on computer. I'll order in. I won't leave my house. And I will not exercise this grace of his until he takes it back. Mr. Gilly. Mr. Gilly. If this is real, oh, it's real, Father. It's real, and it's really pissed me off. Oh, I can see that. And I don't know why God has given you this gift, but why not go with it? Give God a chance, Mr. Gilly. Oh, no. I've made up my mind. God and I are at war. Mr. Gilly, you said I had free will. Yes, you will. Free will is yours, of course. A man can always answer his call or not as he chooses. Then I'm putting him on hold. Thank you, Father. You've given me something to work with. I'll drop a 50 in the basket next Easter. Seeing Ralph Gilly straighten himself into an almost military posture of attention, the priest realized he was talking to a deaf ear. You're sure I can't dissuade you? Very well, Mr. Gilly. Good luck. If you need me, you know where you can find me. During the next month, reports of St. Ralph of Walnut Street faded. There were no new news stories, and Father Callahan of St. Barnabas began to forget his early morning meeting with Gilly. He forgot about it, that is, until he was preparing for a morning mass nearly 6 weeks later. He was startled when a figure emerged from the shadows at the back of the church. It scraped and hobbled forward, and Father Callahan was ready to bolt to the sacristy and dial 911 when a beam of light from a stained glass window fell upon the figure, revealing its face. "Mr. Gilly!" "Oh, what happened to you?" Gilly moved slowly forward. He was dressed in a tattered bathrobe and slippers run down at the back. His hair was uncombed, and he had the stubble of many days growing in a sorry shadow of a beard. However, what alarmed the priest most was the hollow look on the man's face. His eyes were sunken and red-rimmed, and he limped heavily on his right leg. "Happened? Happened, Father? Name it! God does not play fair!" What do you mean, Mr. Gilly? I hadn't heard anything. I assumed you had resolved your problem. You know, I wasn't much of a believer, Father, but the God I sort of believed in was a just and merciful God. The God I paid casual attention to was loving and forgiving. And so he is, Mr. Gilly. No, he's not. He cheats. He's spiteful, and he doesn't keep his bargains. Mr. Gilly, free will. That's what you told me. I had free will. I could choose not to answer the call, and that's just what I chose. I worked online, did my job. I stayed out of sight, and the crowds thinned out. There's only one left. Mr. Vocek, father of the little girl with the teddy bear. He won't leave. Everyone else is gone. Things were calming down. My wife came back with the kids. Things were getting back to normal. Well, that's good. Wait, I said were. Just when I thought I might resume my old life, it started. It started. The priest hunched slightly in anticipation. The plagues, Father. I have been visited by the 7 plagues of Egypt. How do you like that? How's that for a just and loving God? Actually, there were 10 plagues, Mr. Gilly. All right, 10. You'll forgive me if I've lost count. The stress has taken its toll on my sense of precision. It started with the plumbing. Every supply line to my house became clogged with the most disgusting algal slime. That's right, a blood-red slime that poured from the pipes, water to blood. Do you have any idea what my plumbing bill was like to clear all that out? Apparently, the residue unleashed a toxic chain reaction in the basement, and we had an infestation of lice. The kids were covered in them. Peg took them back to her mother's, and that was the end of my return to normalcy. Next came the flies. The exterminator explained to me that this particular breed of drain fly can spread disease, which was probably the reason why our dog Rufus wound up at the vet's running up a $1,500 vet bill to get rid of an infection. Oh, the disease of livestock. Uh-huh. This sudden turn of circumstances did a job on me, and I broke out into painful boils all over my body. I'm only now getting over them. All right. I know you can say that this is all just a coincidence. Now, there you are, Mr. Gilly. That's just it. Coincidence. You're overreacting. What about the hail, Father? The hail, Mr. Gilly? That's right. Hail, Father. Golf ball-sized hail. It rained down on my house. All the windows on the north side were smashed to pieces. Well, you can't blame a simple weather event on God, Mr. Gilly. Really? Doesn't it seem a little, selective, since it hailed only on my house? None of the neighbors had hail, not even one little hailstone. Well, it's an amazing run of bad luck, Mr. Gilly, but I'm not done. Locusts. Locusts? Father Callahan was beginning to feel uncomfortable. All over my garden. They followed the hailstorm. Swarms of them. They didn't land on the neighbors' gardens. Oh, no. Just mine. I don't have a leaf on a tree or a shrub left. I am shrubless. And this morning, the power company turned off my electricity because I could no longer pay the bill. Well, losing the electricity is not one of the plagues of Egypt, Mr. Gilly. Darkness, Father. Darkness. Stay with me here. There's only one plague left. Oh, you don't mean... The priest's eyes opened wide with alarm. Right you are. Death of the firstborn. But I've got him there. What? I can heal. If he tries that one on my son Clyde, I'll heal him. He's outsmarted himself with this one. God must want your attention very badly, Mr. Gilly. After all this, don't you think it might be wise to heed him? Heed? I may be bent, but I'm not broken. He picked the wrong guy to bully. I will create my old life no matter what he does. Yeah, he can't knock me off my perch so easily. Well, if you don't mind my saying, it sounds like he's done a pretty good job so far. Mr. Gilly, I don't understand why you don't embrace this. You said yourself your life was mediocre. I worked hard for that mediocrity. I'm not going to have it ripped from me just because God decides I have to be special. There are plenty of other fish in the sea. Why doesn't he go after one of them? Well, apparently he wants you. He can't have me. I refuse. I haven't been bad. He can't punish me for that. And I wasn't defiant until he started this. What? Whoa, what, really? Gilly stared down at his hands in disbelief and held them up to the priest. Still think this was all my imagination? Stigmata. Look at that. What a cheap trick. So now he's going to have me bleed just to show me who's boss, huh? Well, let me look at that, Mr. Gilly. The priest examined Gilly's hands, and sure enough, blood was flowing from the wounds in the centers of his palms. A thin trickle of blood appeared on the man's forehead, which Gilly wiped with a dirty handkerchief taken from his robe pocket. Take a look at that, Father. This is the guy you work for. He pushes around innocent people. Gilly looked up at the ceiling and he moved forward with his wounded hands upraised. It won't work. Mr. Gilly, please. Father Callahan tried to stop him, but Ralph Gilly was beyond hearing. You can kill me, I suppose. Go, I'm yours. You made me. You can take everything. Go ahead. Take everything I have. Destroy me. I can't stop you. But I won't give you what you want. I won't give up my free will. Whatever my life was, it was mine. Why did you give it to me if you didn't want me to have it? Why did you give us free will if you didn't mean it? Mr. Gilly, this is a church. He needs to hear this. Right at the get-go, when Adam and Eve defied you, you tossed them out of paradise. Punished them because they acted just as you created them. They were curious, they exercised their free will you gave them, and you exiled them. Shame! If you wanted a race of compliant little toadies, you could have made them. No! Instead, you created us. You gave us all this equipment. What was the point unless you wanted us to use it? You could smite me, go ahead. But I stand here to tell you that while I stand, I resist. I refuse to surrender what you gave me just to satisfy some divine fit of pique. I'm not perfect, but I am your design. Get over it and let me be. Both men hung in the ensuing silence in a few moments, listening. Finally, Callahan spoke. Well, that was some prayer, Mr. Gilly. Gilly turned to the priest. I wasn't trying to pray. Well, you were talking to him. That might qualify, maybe. The priest kept looking up to the eaves of the church for possible lightning. Gilly was still checking the air for some expected reaction. I suppose now I'm in for it. I'll probably rot in hell. Oh, look at your hands. The priest pointed at Gilly's hands. The bleeding had stopped. Huh? Gilly looked down at his hands. He wiped his brow again to find that it too was dry and healed. Gone. The priest shook his head. How do you feel? Okay, I guess. Is this a sign? I don't know. You got it off your chest. You were honest. Maybe he got what he wanted. You think? Gilly looked up. This time his tone was more neutral. Okay. I'll do it on weekends, on the QT. Are you good with that? He looked over at the priest. Anything? The priest was still looking up. I can't tell. You seem to have his ear, but I think you're going to have to wait it out. I hope you enjoyed St. Ralph. Our next story is called The Diner. In this story, a young woman hopes to find a connection to her past. I hope you'll join us then. And please press like and subscribe when we will offer you another chance to take a story break. Until then, stay well, do good, and I'll see you then.